Hey, welcome. Hey, thanks for joining me today. What we're doing today is we have a restaurant table. Now this is done in a Sherwin-Williams stain. This is their BAC stain. And what you want to do is cut in all your knots and stuff first. All your basic things. Now this is a restaurant table, so we're doing this as in a commercial finish. And when you do it in a commercial way, you have to do everything at the same for every table. You notice how it's wet here and dark here? You don't want that look. You want to saturate it the best you can all over as fast as you can. All right? Without, throwing your stain across the room. Okay? So you catch all your knots first. You put your stain on real heavy. Now these are the backs, so we're not as careful. But again, this is a commercial job. So again, consistency is everything. We want every table in this restaurant. This is a Grassburger. It's a local high-end grass-fed restaurant. For guess what? You'll never know. So anyway, great company out here. So you get your stain on, and you notice that it's nice and even, right? It's not overly saturated. It's not super wet, but it's wet everywhere and it's absorbing everywhere. And once it's done that, once you're on the bottom side of it all, right? Wipe it off, okay? Anything you have your knots and such like this, blow those out. If you have a compressor, if not, get one or get a can of air and blow your little recesses out. It really helps. It keeps the drips out. It helps everything dry in properly, right? Okay, now flip her over. Okay, beautiful. Now the bottom we didn't care so much about, but we do. We always want our bottoms to look better than most people's tops. I put my stain over here because this table has a tendency to wobble, you see? And this one stays steady, all right? Now the same goes for over here. When you go to cutting in all your parts and all your little knots that don't get in, right? Don't be afraid to hit them in, fill them up, right? And again, this is too dry. If you find yourself really having to force the stain out of your rag, it's not wet enough. Okay? There you go. That's a pro tip. All right, see how I'm going cross grain with the stain as well? I'm not just going with the grain. I'm not sitting here trying to do it with this little brush. All right, sorry about the drop off there, but we're done with that anyway. So now in the end, we do a nice little light pass right over the top. That just keeps everything even. We want a nice even coat over the top so it dries and sets up properly, because we got to do this 20 more times or whatever. We want this table to look as good and the same applied as the last one. So if this takes 5 minutes to put it on, I better watch out and do the same thing on all of them. So there you go. Consistency is everything. And on this case, we want it to dry up about an 80% dry. Our setup, it's not really dried, it's just set. It ain't going to absorb anymore. You can kind of look around and see how it's drying up. And now with a light touch, it doesn't really change. Look, there's not a big color shift like you're removing all the stain. It's all even and it's all set up. So, that's how you do it, guys. Nice and even with the grain at the last few passes, and you got it. If you want to see us put the conversion varnish on this and get it up to the restaurant level, I'll put it right there. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.